Hey, it's Wesleyan with Let's Go Keto, and today we're going to make breakfast sausage rolls. So let's go. So your very first step is you want to brown your 1 pound of breakfast sausage. So just pick your favorite sausage and you want to get it really small and crumbly and just let it set off to the side to cool. The very next step is to work on the yeast part. So you need a half a cup of 110, see we finally just hit 110 degree water temperature, and you use a little thermometer in it. And I know this is not keto exactly, but you have to have some real table sugar, and I use a 1/4 teaspoon because it's going to feed on your yeast. See your yeast? And so your yeast is going to eat all of that sugar up. So put 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast in with a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. And all of that is 110 degree warm water. And just kind of mix it up. And you're going to set this off to the side with a paper towel or a towel of some sort on top. And you just set it in a warm area. And I've got my oven on, so this is the warmest kind of area. For 10 minutes. Because you want, the 10 minutes is going to be so that you have enough time for that yeast to eat all of the sugar up so that you're not eating it. So 10 minutes. Okay, here's our yeast. It's activated. It's ready to go. It's been 10 minutes. And so the next step you want to do is get your apple cider vinegar. I like to shake mine up because this one has the mother in it. And I put 1 teaspoon in the half of a cup of heavy whipping cream. And this is what's going to mimic buttermilk. So just give it a little stir. Now once you've done all of this, you can start putting things in your mixing bowl. So we can put our heavy cream in there. Okay, here's 1/3 cup of melted butter. And we're going to do 1 egg. And this is half of a cup of Allulose Sweetener. And then I'm just going to put the 2 teaspoons of the baking powder in with the keto flour. I have a video on how to make this keto flour. Just kind of mix it in. Okay, let's give this a stir. Okay, now you can put a little bit of the flour in. And pour all of your yeast in. And give that a stir. Forgot to get a little spatula. I'll need that to scrape the sides down. And then pour the rest of your flour in. And give it a stir. Till it's just combined. There's your dough. Let me do a little. There. And it's going to be real sticky. Okay, now that you have your dough ready, I usually roll out half of it at a time, just because it's a lot easier to manage. And I've also got my extra flour out, just in case it's a little too sticky. I won't know until I start trying to roll it, if it's going to be too sticky and stick to the parchment. If so, then you just sprinkle a little flour on. We're about to find out. So get it in between 2 pieces of parchment paper. And you're going to roll out the entire length in a square of this parchment paper. I meant rectangle. Did I say square? Get as close as you can. You don't want it too thin. About a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch maybe is what I roll it out. Alright, I think that's as close as we're going to get it. Now, if this gets sticky, nope, it's perfect. Okay, we didn't need any flour, that's good. Next step is to have, and I went ahead and melted a 1/2 stick of butter. So I'm going to use 1/2 of this, if that. We'll just covering it. And it has to be melted. If you put softened butter, it's going to rip. It's going to rip your dough. And I just use a little silicone brush to brush it on. Maybe a little more. Brush it all around the edges. Okay. Once you get it brushed all over, the next step is putting on the sausage. And I'm going to do that in just 1 second. Okay, now we're ready to put the crumbled sausage on. And since I'm doing two logs, I'm going to go with 1/2 of this sausage. And you kind of want to crumble it in your fingers because you need it small or it won't roll up right. Just crumble it and get it to the edges. And if you find big pieces, just break them in half. And after this, we're going to roll it up and start cutting them. Okay, once you're ready to roll it, you just kind of get it started. Get the dough to come away from the parchment paper. And then press down, kind of press to get it to stick to the sausage part and the other. You can squeeze this way. You're just trying to get it to roll on itself while you're pressing everything together. Okay, once you get to the end, you're going to just kind of do a flip. Okay. Now the seam is right here, but we want it on the bottom. Make your seam go to the bottom. And then push everything in on the ends. And after you get it like this, you're ready to cut. And I'll use some dental floss that doesn't have mint on it, it's just unflavored. And you pick up your log and put your dental floss underneath and start cutting about 1.5 or 1 inch rolls. And put them in your, this is a 13 by 9 glass dish with parchment paper, and I use these little clips until all my rolls are in, and then I'll take my clips off. Helps hold the parchment paper together. So you just keep going until you have all your rolls cut. And if your sausage gets hung up, you just take it right off and push it right back in. Just keep going like that till they're all done. Okay, once you get all of your sausage rolls in your pan, you can take the clips off. I was also going to point out that the edges here, the little corners, I tucked under on the side. On all these corners, I tucked them under so that my plastic wrap will cling to my pan. You kind of want a tight fit there. So cover this with some plastic wrap so it can trap some heat in there, you know, and set it warm place. This is my stove over here is pretty much, my stove is on 350, so it's going to be really warm over here. So keep them here for a good 30 minutes to an hour. So these actually have been here for an hour, so I just left them here an hour just to see if they'd rise a little. So take the plastic wrap off, and I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes to start, but I think they're going to take 16, so 15 minutes. The sausage rolls are out of the oven. It ended up taking 20 minutes for some reason this time, so I would definitely set your timer at 15 still and check it, because everybody's ovens are going to be different. But this one was 20 minutes. There they are. My daughter loves to eat these, one of these every morning before school. And also I wanted to mention that I did test my blood sugar with these just because of the 1/4 teaspoon of sugar that you put in for the yeast. And it doesn't spike my blood sugar, and it also actually went down 3 points after an hour of eating one of these. So I would definitely check your blood sugar if you're a diabetic and want to try these, but just make sure. Alrighty, thanks for watching.